Isn't it working? Okay, so that should be it.
You need any help, or are you doing well?
Well, I think I got it, but what I'm curious about, I guess, is if he can hear and see me. But he's not here yet. So
Okay.
once that happens, can you message on here?
Put on, go into chats and draw up that, and
There
then
we
you
go.
can send a message.
There we go.
Once you're on your place, you can take your mask off. At least that's how it was last week, 'cause that's still.
Same rules, yep. Same rules. Once you get comfortable,
Keep forgetting.
I know. I'm getting comfortable without it because it's so nice out. I'm like, oh, fresh breath. Oh, wait. All right, so I think that's set up.
Hi, how are you? Good, what you?
Or
My daughter, so we get to hug.
Okay, yeah, all right, I won't hug you now, because I know that.
that's funny.
And this is my daughter Christine.
Hello, Christine. Thank you for coming. Have you been to the studio before?
Yeah, I came in November a few times and last week I started up, I did the thing.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome back. Yeah.
Do you get blocks?
I'm not going to teach with blocks today, but if you would like them, you're welcome to them. We've got the non-porous wood ones out so we can sanitize them after class.
Yeah, she just moved fast from Germany.
Oh, nice.
16 years.
Did you fly back? Because I go to Spain, I like to go several times a year, but now nothing. But did you just fly back?
I switched out to, no, actually already almost, yeah, 7 weeks ago. The best flying I've ever done in my life. And I've been flying back and forth.
Did you get like
Granted, I have
3 aisles to yourself to just sleep?
was 30 people, 35 people on my international.
Was it hard? I mean, now we're not allowed to buy a ticket, are we, or can we
No,
still?
you can buy it, especially if you're. So coming from here, like me being an American, I was able to fly no problem. I know. Okay, Europe is opening up their borders again, so it might be possible for an American to fly to Europe. There was 2 months ago, they were not allowing Americans to come in to Europe, so I don't know how it's doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where you can see me. Although he's not logged in yet, so he might just be recording. I just like to watch myself on camera.
Oh, there you go.
That's normal.
Yeah, no, that's.
Sorry, we'll get started here.
You do what you need to do. I mean, we're totally for that.
Right. Whatever makes help you.
So I found a club. I don't know if they will go.
And normally I keep the lights down because I think it helps for me personally. It helps me kind of feel poses, not pay attention to the mirror. But I have to have the lights on me, so you're all gonna have to deal with lights today. Which means you have to fight your own vanity, okay? Normally I just shut the lights down, but.
So we should start with Savasana then.
That sounds good to me. That sounds good. Just 1 hour Savasana.
Just like dig in.
I thought so, okay. All right.
So I found a cruise.
Let's go ahead and get started.
And it's super cute.
Got all my props, all my things. Is it Christina? Christine. Couldn't remember if there was an A at the end. Good, Christine. So welcome to my class. I know I practiced it the
To
other day.
trick you, it's Christine without an E at the end.
Oh, man.
It's actually Christ in.
Okay, okay.
Instead of Christine with an E
Okay.
and an A or whatever.
Well,
I won't spell it later.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
those
those spelling,
rules
yeah.
will never need to spell it, but.
That's awesome.
She has to explain it. every
Yeah,
time.
oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Because then if you do see it, you'll be like, oh, Kristen.
Right. Well, with my classes, I tend to be, I'm the vinyasa teacher, so I'm all about the breath. Have you practiced yoga?
I've been doing yoga
A
a little
bunch.
bit, but the breathing, I'm probably like, you stay in, I do out.
Cool. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. So I'll remind you for the next hour, you'll be sick of me saying inhale, exhale. But it's all about getting those deep, full breaths. So even though we're not in a heated, moving, standing, strong vinyasa class, we're still going to use those same vinyasa principles to get us into stretching. It makes it easier to think about breath because you're not moving the body as much, so that helps. But yeah, so just that being said, we'll really work to focus on the breath today as we move through some stretches. So go ahead and lay back on your backs. We will start in Shavasana, actually. That's what I do. So as you start, you can find traditional corpse pose Shavasana if you'd like, or if you would rather have the knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat, kind of rest the knees together in the center. Whatever feels comfortable for you here. I want you to find comfort so that you can start to sink into your mat. And so that you can begin to forget about your body. We want you to be effortless. So you're not thinking about holding muscles in place. You're surrendering, you're letting go and starting to find your breath. So the breath is always with us. It's always moving. It is a wonderful form of meditation on its own, simply watching it move. But the breath can also energize us. It can prepare our internal organs. So this beginning portion of class where we breathe seems simple on the forefront, but it's actually extremely beneficial for the body, even in its simplicity. So if you haven't already, start to sink into your breath. Maybe you notice the rise and the fall of the chest and belly as you breathe. Not rushing the breath or waiting for the next step, the next inhale, the next exhale. Stay with where you are in the moment. Some ancient yogis believed that each person, each soul was born with a certain number of breaths. So they would work their entire lives to consciously breathe, where they're taking as much time with each inhale and exhale as they can to prolong their life. Which is an interesting concept because as we breathe slower and deeper, we're lowering stress levels. We're increasing circulation. We're helping our heart and our lungs, which does prolong your life. Because the body is still, it wants to move, it wants to think, it wants to jump to the next thing. But challenge yourself to stay present, stay breathing, stay still. See if you can find some calmness as you surrender to this stillness. Stillness is hard. Like I mentioned in the beginning, as we move through practice, we'll use our breath. So each time I talk about inhales and exhales, see if you can tap into this moment where you're really connected to your own breath, your own pace, your depth of your breath, your tempo. Staying with that connection. When you come to your next inhale, gently reach the arms overhead, extend the legs long into a full body stretch. Reach, point and flex the toes, spread the fingers, make a fist. Just kind of noticing little differences, the extremities, any pops or clicks, let them out. When you've reached as far as you can, release the spine, and then exhale as you bring the knees in toward the chest. We'll spend a couple of breaths here so you can rock and roll. You can squeeze and then release. Or you can simply find stillness as you pull the knees into the chest and hold. Whatever works best for you, see if you can stay with your breath. On your next inhale, press the soles of the feet up toward the sky. So we're coming to legs up the wall, where we work to stack the feet over the knees, over the hips. But if your knees don't want to straighten just yet, the hamstrings are a bit tight, the calves are tight, the glutes are tight, just start to pedal the feet a little bit. Straighten one leg and then the other. Point and flex the toes. I don't know about you, but I can shrink up overnight. Everything can stiffen. So we're just working to re-explore, find our range of motion. When you're ready to let go of this, we'll use our exhale to bring the knees back down toward the chest. And then extend the left leg, keep the right knee in toward the chest. Left leg long along the mat. You can let go of that leg as you start to pull your right knee both out to the blue wall to the right and across to the curtains to your left. So just take a moment here to explore, feeling one side and then the other. Maybe find a good spot and you want to stay there and breathe. This wind relieving pose helps open up the hips and activate those muscles. When you feel as though you've got a good assessment of this hip today, or where we are starting at anyway, go ahead and switch legs, extending back to center, extend the right leg, and bring the left knee in. Stay with your breath, and start to move this hip side to side. Again, out to the curtains, across the blue wall. And if you do notice differences, maybe this side is tighter or a little bit more relaxed, it doesn't matter. So see if you can let your mind let go of those stories. It doesn't matter why you got tense or what happened. All that matters is that you're here, you're working on it, and you're meeting your body where you are. You've got your assessment of the left side. Go ahead and bring both knees back into the chest for one more squeeze. And we'll begin to rock the length of the spine. So from the hips to the shoulders, rock and roll along your spine. We'll do this a couple of times. It's a nice massage and it's kind of fun. When you have enough momentum and you're ready, we'll come up through seated all the way to tabletop. Take your time getting there. When you do find tabletop, we'll first align the bones, and then we'll deal with muscles. So hands around your shoulders, knees around your hips, press the ground away, and gently engage the core. So you feel strength in your belly's pulling up to the spine, and you feel strength in the arms. Keep that strength and start to move through cat and cow. With your inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, press into the hands. Exhale, pull the heart toward the sky. Inhale to cow. The diaphragm helps us stretch if we move and breathe a certain way, but if you prefer it the other way, that's fine. Switch the breath around, but stay with full breaths. As you inhale to cow and exhale to cat, feel free to start to push the hips side to side or the shoulders. Making these poses as dramatic as feels good for you. We're going to work on a little bit of flow here. So next time you come to cat pose with the heart pulled toward the sky, press your hips back toward your heels for child's pose. So we're going to finish our exhales on child's pose. When you inhale, come up to table, through table to cow. Exhale, cat, all the way to child. So one breath, 4 movements. Inhale, table to cow. Exhale, cat to child. This is opening up the entire body, but it's just allowing you some time to connect with yourself, to flow, to find your breath. And next time you come to tabletop, we'll stay there. Pausing at center, I'll mirror you guys here for those of you at home on Zoom who just have to listen to my left and right. So press the ground into the left hand. Press the ground away with the left hand. Feel nice and strong. Right arm comes out to a T. And as you inhale, press into the right or press into the left hand, reach the right arm up to the sky. Reaching, pressing, and breathing. When you exhale, bring the right arm down through to thread the needle. Release your breath, and then with your inhale, pull back up to the sky. Reaching, stretching, breathing, and exhale, thread through. Now feel free to stay with that movement if you'd like, or I'll give you an opportunity if you'd like to stay and thread the needle for a breath, you can. Breath or two. This is your practice, your body. So listen to it. If you want stillness or movement, there is no right or wrong. On your next inhale, we'll open up to the sky. Pause there as you reach, press, hold. Exhale back to tabletop to switch sides. So press the right hand into the mat, left arm out to a T. Core stays engaged. Inhale as you open up to the sky. Take a moment here. Press, reach, extend. This is probably the hardest part of the thread the needle. When you exhale, thread the needle through. Same as we did on the other side. Feel free to find movement, rotating through this twist, or find stillness, like to rest in the stretch. As long as you're moving, feeling, you're doing it right. Next time you inhale, we'll reach up to the sky, pausing here for just a moment. Exhale, both hands come down. Flip the toes to the mat and lift the hips to find downward facing dog. Now, downward dog is a full body stretch. So you might feel it all the way along the backside of the body. You might not feel it, but the stretch is still happening. But be forgiving with yourself. Pedal the feet. Listen to your body. And when you're ready to inhale, bring the feet up to meet the hands. So coming to a forward fold near the top of your mat. As you reach this forward fold, notice where the feet fall. Maybe they're hip width distance, maybe they're touching, maybe anywhere in between. Find the weight evenly distributed between both feet, side to side, and then see if you can rock that weight forward. So the heels will stay in touch with the mat, but as you rock forward, you might notice that gravity kicks in and helps you stretch a little bit. If you need a bend in the knees, take a bend in the knees, that's fine. Stay with your breath. On your next inhale, lift up to your halfway lift. Chance to lengthen the spine here. Exhale and release. When you inhale again, find a soft bend in the knees. Come up to stand. We'll rise all the way up to the sky, bring the arms up overhead, and let's interlace the fingers, get some good side stretching in. So find some length through the body. See if you can do so without arching. We tend to throw our weight backwards. It just happens. So stay nice and centered. Inhale, and when you exhale, hinge to the right. Hips can push out if you would like, or you can keep the hips centered. Just breathe into that left side body here for a moment. Feel it really expanding. When you're ready to inhale, we'll come back to center. And exhale toward the left. Then breathe into the right side body. Feel the rib cage expanding, the small muscles in between. Inhale to center. We'll do one more time on each side as we're warming up. Exhale over. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right, or to the left, excuse me. Directions are hard. Inhale back to center. Release the hands and bring them back around behind you. And release the fingers back here. Press the fist away and lift the heart. So more so, we do find a bit of a back bend here, but more than anything, I want you to feel it through the chest. So as you work to lift the heart and pull the shoulders back, you feel it through the pecs. If you do lazy arms and back bend, you feel it in your low back and not so much up front. So keep those arms strong. One more breath. Release and fold. Let's flow a little bit here. So inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Stay with your breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. Feel the rooting through your feet as you reach up overhead. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to stand, reverse swan dive. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale to center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale to center. Exhale, release, finding your forward fold. Sit the hips back as if you're going to come into chair. And then step one foot forward. So let's do the left one first, just so we're all on the same side. So we're sitting in chair, the knees are still together. They don't have to be touching, but they're still in line. So imagine that there's an invisible line right in front of your knees. And you don't have to fold much. So if you wanted to come out and lean into the fold, this is a half pyramid stance. So full pyramid we'll get to in a little bit, but we're working to stretch the outer left hip here. So adjust your stance however you need. You might need to deepen and sit the hips back further. You can also lift your toes, which helps get into the calf a little bit more. Breathe for just a moment. This is kind of an awkward pose to hold, because the calves are awkward to stretch. When you're ready, let's release this by stepping the left foot back. Step the right foot forward. So again, we'll imagine keeping the knees in line, even if they're not touching, they don't have to touch. We can lift ourselves out just to align the body and then start to fold. Play with this again. The more you fold, the more you stretch the hip. If you'd like to lift the toes, you can reach into the calf a bit better. Wherever you find your stretch, breathe into it. When we find tension, we tend to clutch our breath. It's natural. Override that. Ready to come out, we'll step the right foot back. Inhale up to stand all the way up. Exhale, hands behind the back. Lift the heart, press the fist back behind you. Feel that chest open. Release the spine. And then we're going to step the right foot in front of the left. So we're standing in a crisscross. Find the weight evenly distributed between both feet. So you might need kind of a wider stance, whatever works for you. As long as both feet are planted. Torso faces toward the front, toward the mirror, and start to fold over. So first we'll fold straight forward. When you reach your first point of resistance in folding, start to turn the torso over to the right. So as you twist the torso, the hips stay in place. You're getting yourself into a little pretzel here and you'll feel it on the hip. Release when you're ready. So coming back to center, coming out the way we came in. Unravel the legs and switch sides. Left foot in front of the right. Again, find your right stance, so the feet are evenly rooted, it's crisscross forward fold, torso's facing toward the mirror as we hinge. And your first point of resistance on this side might be different, it doesn't matter. When you're ready, start to hinge over to the left, adding a twist in here, so the crown of your head will twist toward the curtains. Beautiful. Again, awkward pose, but that's okay, that's the point, right? Stay with your breath, and when you're ready to come back through center, we use an inhale. And stand out the way we came in, unwrap the legs, inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, fold. Let's heel toe the feet out as wide as the mat, maybe a little wider if you'd like. And start to rock the hips side to side. So our hips are ball and socket joints, which means in theory we should be able to roll them 360 degrees. Theory is great on paper. Problem is we get kinks through these muscles. So as you're rotating here, if you find a good spot to press and breathe, feel free to do so. Can help get into the side body, into the back of the legs, into the glutes. Finding some organic movement. And when you are ready to come back to stillness, neutralize the hips at center, and then heel toe the feet back together. Soft bend in the knees, come up to stand. Bring the arms up overhead, big reach. Exhale down to cactus. We lift the heart, pull the elbows back. Inhale, pull the heart behind you. So standing cat-cow motions. Exhale, lift the heart. Inhale, rise up, pull the heart back behind you, stretching those shoulders. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, back up, exhale, and fold. Go ahead and turn toward the blue wall. So we're gonna face, quarter turn to face the blue wall. I'm gonna mirror you guys, so we'll all be facing the same direction here. We're working on the same direction. So come to stand in a wide-legged stance. However wide is comfortable for you to where both feet can still root. Core is engaged just enough to lift yourself up so you feel like you're not hanging out in the joints. You wanna be strong. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And as you're balancing here, imagine you're pressing the ground with the leg. So you feel strong through the legs. And when you exhale, we'll hinge at the hips and fold down. Get some more hip motion here. So inhale, rise up to stand, 5-point star, moving as slowly as you like. Exhale, fold. We do this in our forward fold with closed hips. Inhale, reach up. With open hips, it helps to reach a different depth with glutes. Exhale down. Now this time, pause here. And begin to walk the hands over toward your left foot. So I don't care if you reach your foot or not, but try and keep the torso or the hips facing, the hips are squared. So their tendency is as we walk over to the side, the hips want to come with because it helps avoid the stretch. See if you can keep the hips at center as we reach. And remember to breathe. When you find your next inhale, walk the hands through center all the way over toward your right foot. Again, I don't care if you ever touch your foot, we're just stretching the inner thigh here, getting some range of motion in the hips. Inhale back to center. Find the right hand, or I'm sorry, the left hand underneath your face. And we're gonna open up the right arm to the sky. So twisting in this wide-legged straddle, again, the hips wanna come with us. See if you can keep the hips square, like you're balancing a plate on the top of your back, the lower part of your back. Breathe here, feel the twist, the obliques are working. And when you're ready, exhale to switch sides. So the right hand replaces the left. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Check in with the hips, they always want to shift. See if you can pull them back to neutral. Breathe. And when you exhale, release. Start to point the toes out toward the side as you bend the knees. Engage the hip or engage the core and start to sit up. So this is goddess pose. It's a really strong pose, but we're gonna enter it a bit differently. So find your hands on your knees, facing backward if that works for you. If you like them forward, that's fine too. It just tends to collapse us forward. So try and keep yourself balanced upward. Exhale, one shoulder forward. So we're twisting here, pressing into our knees. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist the other way. So again, it's an awkward pose, but that's what we do in yoga. We want to break the standard of what we do all day long. Switch sides, one on each side, one more time. The legs are getting some strengthening, but we're getting stretched too. Back to neutral when you're ready. Toes range forward, straighten the legs, and fold. Just to your first point of resistance. Stay with your breath. And as you're ready, let's heel toe the feet back to center. Soft bend in the knees as you rise up to stand all the way up, arms up overhead, and we'll come to turn back in the front of our mats. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend right. Notice as we warm up, the muscles start to stretch and reach further. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back up. Exhale as you swan dive and fold. Shift the weight into the right foot, step the left foot back. So we come into pyramid stance here. It's going to be a bit of a wider stance than a step, but not as wide as a crescent lunge. Now go ahead and let's rise up, coming all the way up to stand. It helps just get into the pose. Play with the depth here of your stance as well as the width. So forward and back. It can all make a difference. I want your back knee comfortable. It's the most important part. Hips are facing forward. Inhale, arms up overhead. Keep the belly engaged. And when you exhale, we'll come to fold forward. So as you find your first point of resistance, you can grab your leg and kind of walk the hands down the leg. You can also be hands-free, balancing, which takes core strength, if you'd like more strength. And if your muscles allow it, you can come all the way down to the mat. But if you have tight hamstrings or glutes today, you're not going to reach the mat, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're just working to meet our body where we are today. We're stretching, we're breathing. All progress. Now start to shift the hips side to side just a little tiny bit. Even 1 inch can make a world of difference. Find a good spot. You can breathe and hold. Keep moving, or you can retreat to a standard pyramid at neutral. Let's take one more breath. And then inhale all the way up to stand, arms up overhead. Use a little strength, a little balance to step forward. Exhale and fold. Right foot steps back. Working our way into pyramid on the other side. Engage the core and let yourself come up to stand. Standing is the easiest way to help align the hips, get the feet in the right place. And again, we want the back knee comfortable. All of our bodies are a tiny bit different. Arms up overhead, core stays engaged, and exhale as you hinge at the hips to fold. Second side, same options. So feel free to walk the hands down the leg, hold yourself to balance. Feel free to be hands-free, using strength. Be forgiving with yourself if you waver, if you're not as flexible on one side. None of that matters. Those are all stories our mind makes up. All that matters is the present moment, the current stretch, and your breath. See, none of that matters. It's fine. You just move it back. No, pyramid is a balancing pose because you're, for the most part, almost on a balance beam and in a strange posture. I fall all the time.
Why is it not that side is so much?
Isn't that funny? But it's just how it is. That's okay. Last breath here, and we're going to inhale up. Coming up to stand in pyramid, arms overhead. We use a little strength, a little balance. Step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way up to stand. Soft bend in the knees as you rise. Let the palms come to meet. Tap the third eye, tap the heart. Take a breath here. Maybe you want to close the eyes. Or just find something to look at that won't move. Taking vanity out of the equation, right? Find your rooting through the feet. So we want the weight evenly distributed. The core is engaged. I'm going to work you into a couple balance poses here. So if you would like to come over, that's why we have bars on our wall. If you would like to come to a bar, just be mindful of others as we don't have our masks on, or put your mask on to go to a bar. For balance, it's always kind of helpful to have something near you. If you want the ultimate challenge, stay on your mat. So we'll shift the weight into the left leg. The right knee comes up in front. Take a breath here, just finding that rooting and lifting out of your left hip. On your exhale, open the knee out to the side. Challenges the balance. And then bring the sole of the foot to the calf, the ankle, or the thigh. So we're going to find tree here. As long as you're not pressing on the knee joint, it's fair game. Hands can stay at heart center. Arms can lift out or up like branches. I'm going to challenge you here to stay for a few breaths. They say the yoga pose begins when you want to enter it. As long as it's easy, it's just a movement. When it's a challenge, we have to kick in our yogic principles where we have to breathe through it, find patience, build heat, stay focused. Beautiful job, ladies. Let's take one more breath. Inhale the knee out to the side and back in front slowly. Then exhale to kick your knee back behind you. So as we come into warrior three can be any version of right here or all the way. So the classical interpretation is your body is a capital T. If you want to be just down here working to lift the leg, that's a great place to be. No expression is required. It's just a matter of lifting that back leg, helps to throw off our weight and kick that core into here. Almost safely there. Stay with your breath here, ladies. One more. When you're ready to exhale, bring the leg back to the mat. Shake it out if you need. Swivel the hips around. And we'll switch things around for the other side. Come to center on your mat. Inhale the arms overhead. Palms come to meet. Find your centered place here. Tap the third eye, tap the heart. Maybe you close the eyes as you find your grounding. As you feel ready, shift the weight into the right foot. Peel the left heel. Start to lift the left leg up in front of you. And then exhale, the knee opens to the side to find your version of tree. So again, we can be on the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. Just avoid pressure on the knee joint. Now our tendency here is to kind of sit and hang. We always kick a hip out. It's a thing. See if you can tuck those hips in so the hips are neutral. We're squeezing toward the midline and lifting up into the pose. Arms can be wherever you like. And find those yogic principles. Find your patience. Stillness is hard. If you are ready, we'll use an inhale to bring the knee back out to the side and in front. And exhale, kick back, move slowly, find your version of warrior three. Now again, warrior three is just about lifting that back leg up behind you, kicking up the core strength. And as we find balance in one leg, we are building bone. So even if today this is a piece of cake for you, you're still doing good things. If today balance is hard, you're getting that balance and the stabilizer is really fine-tuned. Stay with your breath, and on your next inhale, let's come back. Bring your feet to the mat. You did it. Shake it out. Back to the mat, balance as you're over. Inhale, arms overhead. Feel that reach and stretch. And exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands and walk the feet back to find your downward dog. Lift the tailbone high, press forward and down into the hands. Beautiful. And on your exhale, gently begin to lower the knees to the mat to find tabletop. Come back to sit on our knees. If this is uncomfortable for anybody, wave at me and I'll find you the right route. We'll just sanitize it later. So we're gonna work in the hero's pose, which technically is sitting just like this. If you would like to activate and stretch a bit more, you can start to lean back and lift the hips. So this is a quad stretch more than anything. As you lean, lift, and squeeze, you start to feel the pull in the front. If for you, sitting right here does the stretch, that's fine. Feel that stretch. Again, it's an awkward pose. Breathe into it. When you're ready, let's come out sitting on our knees once more. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Don't mirror your speed. I'll go the same way. Exhale, right hand down, or sorry, left hand down. And reach the right arm up overhead. So press into your supporting arm here to help you find an arc. Just reaching into that right side body. Reach and reach. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale to the other side. So left hand down. Your left hand is your support as your right arm finds that arc. Reaching and breathing. Inhale back up. Both arms up overhead. And let's come to stand on our knees. So kneeling mountain. Toes can be tucked or toes can be flat, either way. I like them tucked just because it gives me a little balance. Inhale, arms up overhead. Feel that core engaged. And see if you can find a slight back bend. Not too much, don't throw yourself back, but just lift the heart, lift the gaze slightly. Release the spine back to neutral. And interlace the fingers behind the back as we did before. We're going to find that chest opening. So lift the heart, press the fist back. Kneeling mountain is the same as standing, we just take the calves out. So see if you can lift the heart, press the fist away. Release when you're ready. Maybe let the shoulders kind of round forward to counteract. Again, up on the knees, arms up overhead. We're going to come to some rainbows. So it doesn't matter which side you start with. Switch the hands back or out to face away from you. So we're opening up the shoulders. You can do them both at the same time or one or the other. So same as we did in the hips before. This is the ball and socket joints. We want to find tight places and breathe into them. Let's go the other way. So going backwards in circles. Makes your brain work a little bit more. Pat your head, rub your tummy. Keep those circles, find your range of motion. And pause at center. Kick up onto the toes if you are on the tops of the feet. Both arms up overhead, palms face out. Reach back, see if you can grab a hold of the heel. If you can't, just reach toward it and lift. Switch sides. Reach back toward the other heel. If you can reach it, cool. If you can't, reach toward it. Now, if you're ready, come to full camel. Come with me. Otherwise, do that half pose that we just did again. Half and half. Full camel is reaching both back. This is a chest opener and it's a big pose, so don't feel like you have to go into it. Like I said, reaching one way and then the other is the same. In order to come out, we'll tuck our hips down, so lower the hips to the heels. Lower the tops of the feet to the mat, and come to a child's pose. Letting yourself breathe here. Letting the body drape over the legs. Most importantly, in child's pose, we want our calming instincts to kick in. In order to do that, we have to have the back of the neck relaxed. So see if you need to adjust your forehead at all. To let the back of the neck relax. It might just be a tiny little adjustment. Take a very heavy breath. And when you're ready, gently walk your hands up to tabletops, lifting yourself up to table. Find some awareness mentally in the hips. So we want the hips over the knees, and we're going to keep them locked right there. Hips stay over the knees, but start to walk the hands forward. So for puppy pose, it's a lot like child's pose, except for the hips stay in the air. So the hips are still over the knees. This one opens under your shoulders and stretches your triceps. They call it the heart melting pose. So imagine your heart is melting toward the mat. You do have to have a bit of strength in the arms, but we want them to soften as well. So kind of play with that mentally. When you're ready to come out, gently walk the hands back toward the body, coming back to tabletop. For the next frog pose, I'm going to have you turn toward the blue wall. Heads toward the blue wall, just because as we open up the knees wider, it'll be nicer to have them on the mat. So open up the knees a little bit wider. We'll come to our forearms in tabletop. The difference between frog and a wide-legged child's pose is that the feet stay in line with the knees. So like a frog, we're kicking our legs out to the side. Yep. Toes point out to the sides. Now this may be a pretty intense stretch. You don't have to go any further. If you would like to go further, you can press the hips back using the strength in the forearms. The more you press the hips back, it stretches the groin muscles and the inner thighs. So this is an intense stretch, but it really opens the hips. Stay with your breath. And when you are ready to come out, we'll gently pull the weight forward. Walk the forearms forward all the way to your belly. Swing the feet side to side. Frog's such an awkward pose, but man, it's really feel the effects. Shift the feet around, let yourself kind of wiggle it out. Come back up, swing the feet around, and sit on your mat. That frog pose really gets your blood flowing, gets the hips open. We'll thank you later. So as we find staff here, we want the sit bones evenly rooted. Toes are pulling back toward the body, and the legs are active. So even though we could just hang out here, we're going to tighten and hold everything. Reach the arms up overhead, and exhale, pull the heart forward. We'd like to lower the hands and use your hands on the mat, the legs, the feet, wherever they land. Think about when we do our forward folds in practice, this is the same stretch. Body's in the same shape. The difference is gravity. So we're using the strength of our arms to stretch the back of the thighs instead of gravity, which is a little bit subtle. So staff pose you can make as intense as you want, and you can release, obviously, whenever you want. When you are ready to come out, we'll inhale back up. Let the hands come behind you, fingertips facing forward. Step the feet back to about the knees, where the knees were. Soles of the feet press into the mat, hands press into the mat, and we lift the hips. So reverse table is just that, it's table reversed. As soon as you start lifting the hips, you'll feel the stretch in the shoulder. So don't feel like you have to reach any higher than the shoulders will allow you to. When you are ready, exhale gently, lower yourself out, hips come back to the mat. Find staff pose once more, bones, sit bones evenly rooted, toes pull back, core is engaged, lengthen up toward the sky, and exhale, fold. Again, making this as intense or as relaxed as you would like. As you're ready to work out of this, coming back up. And go ahead and lay back on your mat for our final cool down stretches. As you come to your mat, let the soles of the feet stay on the mat so your knees can face toward the sky. Maybe you want to reach the arms out to the side and continue that chest opening that we've been working on. Take a big inhale, and when you exhale, let the knees come to the left and the gaze to the right. So in this supine twist, the knees can stay together, the knees can separate. It really doesn't matter what it looks like as long as you're twisting the spine, surrendering, and feeling no pain. If there is any pinching, feel free to come out and re-enter. You are pain-free and surrendering. Just allow yourself to breathe. On your next inhale, come back to center. And exhale to the other side. So knees to the right, gaze to the left. And if you can surrender right away, that's wonderful. If you need a couple of entries into the pose, that's great too. Meet your muscles where they are today. When you are ready to come out, inhale back to center. Let the soles of the feet touch and the knees fall out to the side. So for a reclined bound angle or butterfly, you might need to adjust the hips or shoulders to feel that natural curve along your spine. And then there's two approaches to this pose. You can take a restorative approach, which is to just stay exactly as you are. Surrender, let go, feel heavy, let gravity do the work. Second approach is to activate the stretch. You can do so by pressing the soles of the feet together and squeezing your glutes. This will help open the knees and the hips. You can switch between the two, resting and activating. Again, no right, no wrong, it just matters what you need. Let's reach the arms up to the sky, fingertips straight up to the ceiling. Cross the left elbow over the right, and then reach the fingertips back to give yourself a hug. When you start to feel like you've hit your first point of resistance in the shoulders, walking your fingers back, start to squeeze the elbows up towards your face, and squeeze the elbows down towards your chest. You might only move a millimeter or so, maybe an inch, but it helps get that range of motion in the back of your shoulders. When you're ready, we'll unwrap and unravel to switch sides with the arms. So this time, right elbow over the left, unless you did it opposite. Hands walk back along your shoulders, reaching, hugging, squeezing. And gently start to pull the elbows up toward the face. And squeezing back down toward the belly button, toward the chest. Doesn't even require big movements. Just some awareness and some breath. And you are ready to release, unwrap, unravel the arms. Maybe let the hands help the outside of the knees to come back to center. Bring the knees in toward the chest and shoot the soles of the feet toward the sky for legs of the wall. Coming back full circle to where we began, kind of pedal the feet here. Notice if there's any strength that you built, if you've relieved tension. The heat allows our muscles to stretch and find a little more elasticity, so maybe you can reach a bit further. One more big breath. Exhale, knees back down toward the chest. Inhale, extend both legs, reach the arms overhead, find a full body stretch. See if you grew from the beginning of our practice. Exhale, both knees in toward the chest. Wrap your arms around, grabbing hold wherever you can. Lift your forehead up towards your kneecaps. Pull the shoulders off of the mat. Squeeze everything you've got to be a tiny, tiny ball. When you're ready to release, let go of your body, let go of your breath, and find your final Shavasana, or corpse pose. If there is any other movements that your body calls for, feel free to take them now. If you feel ready to begin to surrender, let your body find what's comfortable. Let the feet fall wherever they may. Let the belly soften, forehead soften. Take notice of your jaw. See if there's tension holding on in your jaw. Maybe you can talk that into relaxing and letting go. This morning we've moved our bodies through postures to build a little heat, to come back to stillness and let that heat go, all for the purpose of the mind. Yoga was created in order to watch the mind work, not to stop it, slow it down, turn it off. You can't do that. When you watch it work, you bring a simplicity to your existence. You're not thinking about other things. You're not getting pulled down the rabbit hole on any thought path. You're just watching thoughts come, watching them go. Again, the breath is a great tool for meditation. If you're finding it difficult to shut the mind to a quiet place today, just watch your breath. Take these few moments to embrace your stillness and trust that you are exactly where you should be. I'll call you out when it's time. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Allowing the fingers, toes to come to life. Gradually deepen your breath. Allow your awareness to come back to the space you created on your mat. Let your body move, stretch in any way it calls for. Ultimately coming to roll to one side or the other. Using your arm as a pillow, take just a moment to curl up with yourself. Finding space for gratitude. Grateful for coming to practice this morning, taking the time for your body. And find some gratitude for all the things your body can do. As you're ready, move gently. We'll press up to seated. Any comfortable seated position will do. Meet with hands at heart. I like to close practice with a collective breath. So as you get settled, let all the air come out of your lungs. So we can inhale together. And exhale together. Balancing here with the strength of body, mind, and most importantly, strength of heart. Thank you, friends, and namaste. Namaste. Thank you for coming, ladies.
Thank you.
That was excellent.
Of course.
It was better than the other time.
Yeah.
It's excellent, it helps my shoulders so
Yeah.
much, my legs.
Good. Thank you. I do yoga at home all the time, but there's something about a studio.
Yeah.
And this one in particular, but the community. It keeps you in the practice for an hour, right?
Yes.
You have no choice.
That's true.
At home, I get distracted really easily, because your brain plays those tricks. It's like, okay, it's been good enough. Time for dinner.